Hi everybody, I'm Bill Sanders and this is Watch Art Sci, the art and science of watch collection. Today what we're going to do is we're going to look at buying watches. This is for a beginner. And as a reminder, I'm a watch collector, so I'm looking at it from the perspective of a collector, not somebody selling or manufacturing watches. I'm just thinking of the collectors. All right, so we're going to look at that, but first, what I want to do, we have the watch of the week. Last week we had one that was owned by Healer 74, and we have it again. Not the same one, but another one owned by Healer 74, and this one is just amazing. I love this watch. It's by Van Cleef and Arpels, and it's a dual time watch, and the name of it is Time Here and Time Elsewhere. That's the French of it, and it sounds beautiful in French, but not when I pronounce it, so I'll leave it at that. It has retrograde minutes, and so the minutes they start at 0 and they go up at 60 and then they come back. That's the way a retrograde works. And there's a window at about 11 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and the one window is for time here, and the other one is for another time zone. So you can have two time zones, and then everything runs on with the minutes are all in the retrograde. Who makes this watch? This is one of the best watchmakers in the world. In fact, he was I think made the very first watchmaker of the year. Jean-Marc Viderec, and the name of the company is Agenhor. So, and you can take a look at it over there on the right. You can see what the movement, how it's just beautiful, the whole watch, and the simplicity of it. This is a watch I would love to have, but they're really expensive. So that'll have to go on the back burner. Sort of what I call my lottery winning watches. All right, so let's go take a look. Now, this is for beginners again, and it's not for your typical collector watches. For example, if you're collecting Rolexes or Omegas or Patek Philippe's or any number of other ones that are fairly popular, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Vacheron Constantin, there are a lot of good groups that will help you out. For example, if you collect Vacheron Constantin, the place to go is the Hour Lounge, and the people there know all about Vacheron Constantin. All right, but let's say that you're looking for something, and what you want to do, you're looking for something that's really somewhere up there, and you're not quite sure how to find it, and do it at a reasonable price. And also, we're going to be looking for a world time. In other words, something that you can take on vacation and you can go around the world with it and you can tell the different time zone. All right. So we're going to go to the Grand Prix d'Horloge de Genève. And this is a resource to find watches that are recognized as excellent horology. For example, the one I have on is F.P. Journe Chronomètre Souverain. It won the 2005 Men's Grand Prix. So, you can find really excellent watches this way. So what we're going to do is, here's the path, gphg.org, and you go there and you'll see on the menu and it'll say history. And you click on history and it'll open up, and at the bottom it'll say archives. So you click archives, and then you choose 2016. You can choose anywhere between 2017 right now and all the way back to 2001. Okay, and the ones you want to select are pre-selected. And what the pre-selected watches are, these are ones that have gone through to the finalists. They're the finalists in the Grand Prix. And each category has about 6 watches. Travel time here, there's one by Beauvais, one by Bethune, Fabergé, Louis Vuitton, Manufacturer Royale, and Mont Blanc. All right, well, I'll tell you ahead of time, I checked the prices on these, and the only one that's even in what I call hand grenade range is a Louis Vuitton. So we're going to take a look at the Louis Vuitton. Now, what you want to do, and again, any one of these you can take a look at. What you do, you give it a double click, you click on that watch, and what comes up will be some details about it. And in this case, we're looking at the Escale time zone, the Louis Vuitton Escale time zone. And what I always go to first is a movement. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, they don't always give you the information about the movement. Now, if they put a cheap movement in there, obviously they don't want to tell you about it. But if they put a good movement in, they should. But this one is vague: self-winding, mechanical, power reserve, 42 hours, 28,000 vibrations per hour. Could be anything. Okay, so that doesn't, I mean, it could be a really good movement, it could be a cheap one. But you don't know from here. But you know it's an automatic. All right, so you look around and you want to find what the front and the back looks like. Well, the front we've already seen pretty much. The back on this particular one was very hard to find. And once I found it, there wasn't much there. But one thing at the bottom there, it says La Fabrique du Temps. That is a movement maker I've heard of before, and that's a good thing. The other thing that's good about it, it is owned by Louis Vuitton. They're sort of vertically integrated with La Fabrique du Temps. All right, so things are looking pretty good. So one of the first things you want to do is to read reviews of it. Try to find a watch. If you go online, you put review and then the name of the watch, you'll find different reviews. This one is from Hod & Key, and a couple things here that are important. First of all, it's in stainless steel. The one that they had in the Grand Prix was in gold, and it was 12,000 Swiss francs. Now here we found it in stainless steel, and it's only $7,700. Only $7,700. It's an expensive watch, and the important thing about it is that it has the name of the movement is an LV87, LV for Louis Vuitton, and it's an in-house caliber by La Fabrique du Temps. Now, this is called a manufactured movement. If a watch has a manufactured movement, that means that it's in-house. Okay, so that's a good thing. Well, what do we know about La Fabrique du Temps? It could be simply, sometimes watch companies can be not as forthcoming as they should. So let's check out what we can find out about La Fabrique du Temps. All right, well, this I found in SJX, and the two people involved, Michel Navas and Enrico Barbacini, are the two watchmakers. These guys are like top watchmakers. They make movements for Laurent Ferrier, or they have. So not only do you get in-house, but you're getting some seriously good in-house movement. And like I said, they're vertically, what's called vertically organized with Louis Vuitton. Louis Vuitton is this giant corporation, and they have a watch division, and then within the watch division, they have somebody who makes movements for them. They also make movements for some other companies too that are not Louis Vuitton. I mean, they're very good. If you can get those, you're in good shape. So that's a good thing. So the watch is looking pretty good as we go along. All right, so what's the next step? All right, so we found a watch, and so let's go check it out. Now, generally what I do is that I go to Chrono 24. and I searched Chrono 24. So this is what I did with this watch, and I found one. And it's stainless steel. That's what I wanted. It's got a price on it is $79.50. Now, this is what's important. I already know that at least according to the review, that it was 7,700. All right, and this one is pre-owned. And so, okay, that's a lot. I wonder what's going on about this watch because it's the same watch, or it should be. I don't know why it wouldn't be. All right, now that's one of the first things. A lot of time people go directly to the watch and they say, "Oh, I love that watch. I gotta have it," and they will pay whatever is ever. Oh, I'll put it in really quick and hit the buy button. Don't do that. Okay, if you're doing this at buying watches, don't do that. If you really gotta, you just give a second. Say, oh, well, maybe somebody else will get it. Maybe they will. All right, probably not, but possible while you're thinking about it. All right, so what we want to do is that so here this is on Chrono 24. Now Chrono 24 will sell watches for companies, for individuals, for anybody who comes up and says, "Hey, I want to sell my watch on Chrono 24." Okay, so you found a watch, and now if you search through the watch thing, you'll find the name of the seller, and we're going to call it Bill Super Duper Watches. That's not the real name of it because it's just. Yeah, we're going to use that as hypothetical. Okay, so we want to check out the seller. So you're going to ask some friends or look around, and you can even do it is put in the name of the Bill Super Duper Watches opinions or fraud or something like that. If there's any fraud, it'll come up about it. So you want to put that in, and you want to find out about the seller. Now, in this particular case, I know who the seller is, and they're okay. I mean, they're good seller. They're not going to give away watches, I can tell you that. But if you agree on a price with them, they're going to send it to you. All right, so you don't have to worry about that. Somebody who's going to take your money and disappear. All right, so that was one thing that's important to do is check out the seller, ask around. Somebody says, "Hey, I went to Bill's Super Duper Watches, and the watch they sent me wasn't at all like what they had advertised it as, and they wouldn't give me my money back." And you don't want to buy a watch from them. I don't care how good of a watch you think it is. If a watch company seller has a bad reputation from a lot of people, especially, don't just go elsewhere. Okay, so next, what I did with this watch, I thought, look, the review said it was $7,700. I'm going to go right to the horse's mouth. Now, more and more watch companies are putting their prices of their watches online, so you can find out what it was or is. In this case, it was $7,200. Now, I guess originally when they said it was $7,700, they decided that was not a good way to sell their watch, and so they have it at $7,200. Or maybe when they're talking to a review magazine, it's early on, they haven't quite made up their mind, and so they're trying to figure out, okay, well, what should we sell it for, and then they end up with a different amount. Okay, well, $7,200. Now, here this Bill Super Duper Watches wants $79.50 for it, and it's used. Okay, so that's something that you need to think about. All right, I'll put it that way. And so, what do you do next? Well, you found out what the price is, so you go back. Well, what you can do is that you can also go back to the either to the company or to Chrono 24. Now, at this particular company, it has add to cart and make an offer. All right, now make an offer. If you're going to make an offer, this is used, you know, it's $7,200 new. So what are you going to offer? Well, you take 70, the amount of resale value on different watches is all over the map. Patek Philippe's and Rolex's, they have very good resale values. Now, Louis Vuitton isn't that well known as far as collectors are concerned. So somebody looking for a used one of these is either going to be someone who's looking for a watch by Louis Vuitton for some reason, or it's going to be a collector like me who has learned about the watch, wants a travel watch, for both for travel and for a collection. And so what should I offer? Okay, well, now I'm not going to start offering down from $7,950. I'm going to offer from $7,200. Now, I'll knock off about what is generous for the seller depreciation from a new watch to a used watch, and I'll say like, okay, $5,400. That's 25% off. But I'll probably offer, let's say, $5,000. Now you might be thinking, wait a minute, that's $8,000. You're offering $3,000 less. Yeah, that's right. Okay, not because I'm trying to be, I don't know, cheat the seller. You just want to be realistic about this. Okay, now one of the interesting things, if you say, well, I want to go to Chrono 24, and there are good reasons to do that. I'm not going to talk about it today. But if you put in something like $5,000 as an offer, they're going to come back to you and say, oh, that's not enough. Are you sure you want to put that much in? You say, yes, that's what you want to do. The good thing about Chrono 24, they're on the seller side. So if you want to sell a watch and you take it to Chrono 24, they're going to try to get the highest price for you. So that's why they put that in there. But as a buyer and a collector, we want to get the best possible deal for a watch dollar or whatever other euro that we have. So this is sort of the steps to go through. I think possibly what you can see here is that if you find a watch, that price is, I don't know where that came from, right? But we can go and we know that brand new ones cost $7,200. This is pre-owned. We want to be smart about these things. All right, so anyway, that's my approach to these things, and matter of fact, this is exactly how I would pursue a watch, especially one that I didn't know that much about, and or anybody else. You go out there and you ask around about, well, what can you tell me about a Louis Vuitton time zone? There are not a lot of people going to know it. You ask about a Rolex, people, they know everything about it. So that's true with Omegas and a lot of other watches too. But when they're not, and this is where you can find your best deals. This is where you can find your real gems, and I think this one is one of them. All right. Well, let's hear your opinion. And again, like I said, this is for beginners, and this is from a collector's. I'm not selling anything. And the reason that's important, if I were a seller, I'd be telling you a different story. Okay, so this is from a collector's perspective. And the most important thing, as far as I can see, is knowledge. Learn as much as you can. Okay, let's hear your opinion. And by the way, this is an invitation to subscribe if you'd like. Hope to see you on Sunday. This has been Bill Sanders for Watch Art Side, the art and science of watch collection.